Welcome back into Rounding Third Baseball, episode 218. Crazy week in baseball. I'm Nick, and we have Harrison tonight. How are we doing, Harrison?
Awesome, Nick. I'm trying to hold it together. How about you?
Doing pretty well. I kind of cracked a little joke before we hit the go live button, so it's kind of a carryover. But anywho, we have a ton of stuff to get into. Thought it was going to be a slow week, and then it was like, bang, think again. So
yeah, it was a slow week until about Tuesday, then it exploded.
My goodness. So we will get into all of it. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow on Instagram, Rumble, or TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
And as always, sharing is caring.
Yes, please do that. All right. We have our affiliate sponsors, Dick's Sporting Goods, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links at the tops of our socials. If you do any shopping with these companies, please do it through our links. We get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. All you got to do is go on and buy, a new set of golf clubs or equipment for your kids through our links, and we get a kickback. And it's a great way to support the podcast. So please do that. We also have our Rounding Third merch. So if you go on Etsy to Rounding Third Baseball, you can get a nice shirt, sweatshirt. There's tumblers on there. I use that thing all the time. Still got my phone case going on here. I love this thing. So go ahead, check it out. And another great way to get our name out there and to support us. All right, on to the show. Let's start with my boys. I'm repping them tonight. They're not really my boys, but holy
they're smokes. Nobody's boys right now.
Yeah, this is tough. So the Rockies pile up the most losses in April in the history of the MLB, on pace to beat the White Sox record from last year, 5-25 through their first 30 games. Eek.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you have to almost purposely lose 25 games. Like, you should accidentally win more than 5 games in the MLB.
I mean, you'd like to believe that, like, the law of averages would say you're bound to win, like, a couple games a week. But they can't even pull that off. And, I mean, they're a minus 77.
In a month.
In a month, minus 77. They've given up 173 runs, which is, believe it or not, second most in baseball because the Marlins are giving up more. But you've scored. They're the only team, I believe, they're the only team that hasn't scored 100 runs yet. They're at 96, and they've given up the second most in baseball. That math ain't good. What's even sadder is their expected win-loss is 8-22. They're 3 games off where they should be just based on statistical averages. So, like, they're even underperforming their own average, which is shocking.
Do they?
They won
a game yesterday. Yeah,
because yesterday they had 4 wins, and we were like, I'm watching it going, holy cow, this is not good. And they finally pulled one out. But
yeah, do they beat the White Sox record?
It may take them 25 and 26 to get back to where the White Sox were last year. This team is, I mean, 30 wins right now would probably be a good season based on where they sit right now.
Oh, I mean, I don't even know where you go from this. Does the owner sell and just completely tear everything down? Like, where did the Rockies even go? I mean, they're in the worst division that they could be in the MLB. That doesn't help.
No, it's brutal.
I mean, what do they do?
I mean, so right now they've got a 167 winning percentage, which puts them on pace for 27 wins. That's the level they're playing at right now is 27 wins. And I mean, we said this in the offseason. You know, the Colorado, we used the Rockies as kind of a joke, but who are they going to sign realistically? They've got some of the lowest revenue in the league. They've got that Chris Bryant contract that's an absolute albatross. They've got not a lot in the minor league system. I mean, there's not a lot of hope for this team, and you're in the worst division to be in if you can't spend $400 million on payroll.
Captain says there's a lot of sell the team chance. I mean,
yeah, and honestly, like, this isn't even on the ownership. The ownership they spent money. It blew up in their face, and they've done it several times. They've brought players in, it hasn't worked out. You had Blackman retire. That's a huge hole you weren't prepared to fill. The Chris Bryant contract's been terrible. You can't find pitching. No pitchers want to go there.
No.
It's just they're in such a weird spot. And a team that was in the World Series not that long ago, they've been good,
right.
but they cannot find their footing. And as the economics of this game continue to change, this is an organization that is going to continue to fall farther behind because there's not a lot more money to make in Colorado. Could you sell the place out every night? Sure, you could, but in that division, it's going to be a hell of a tough battle to be competitive enough to get people to come out to the ballpark. And honestly, in Denver, the fans don't care unless they're really good. They just don't.
Yeah, I mean, you like every baseball team, you have your diehard fans that show up no matter what. But I don't know, man. Unless you move the fences back another 200 feet, you're not getting any starting pitching that wants to go there. There's no possible way that you're going to get free agents to go there. And like with the NL West being as strong as it is, even hitters aren't going to want to go there. It's not desirable to go there and get their faces kicked in by the other 4 teams in that division right now.
Right.
And John, I'm with you. They have massive issues, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel right now. There isn't. And this is even a bigger hole than the White Sox and the Marlins are in or were in. I don't know if the Marlins are quite. I mean, they're both in a hole. Let's be honest.
Well, but I think I would say for the Marlins, though, the difference in the Marlins, they created that hole.
Yep, right.
I don't think the Rockies have created this hole for themselves.
But they have a lot of young talent on that team. Like they have a promising future. And the White Sox have some young pieces too. But the AL Central, let's be honest, isn't one of the strongest divisions in the league. So the White Sox hole isn't as deep as the Rockies. Like this mountain, for lack of a better word, that they have to climb is astronomical compared to those other 2 teams. Yeah, the NL East can be a gauntlet as well. I get that. But holy Hannah, for the Rockies to get anything going, they have 4 teams that are juggernauts that they have to climb over, and they're just not going to do it.
No, I mean, and 4 of the 7 best records in baseball are in your division. Like, what are you going to do there?
Right.
Nada.
Yeah. And you're like you said, you can't attract players. You can't attract free agents. You can't pay for them because of the Bryant contract, because of other contracts that have blown up. You can't get pitching unless it's homegrown. Like Chase Dollander was supposed to be their, hopefully the start of their uptick here. And he's okay, but no one can pitch in Coors Field. Unless you're Ubaldo Jimenez that one year. It's crazy.
And the beauty of it is you've got Chris Bryant for this season and 26 and 27 and 28. So you don't get rid of that guy until 2029. And this guy's played like no games for you in the prime of his career. And you made the big move. 7 years, 182. You made the big move. We're going to go out and get a guy we think can be our anchor. He's a drop and drive guy. He's going to fit great in our ballpark, and he just hasn't been able to show up.
Yeah. John says they had their glory days. Guys either leave or retire or had no answer for when that happened in a division that's loaded as is. Yeah, it's too bad because I do like the Rockies, but I don't know. It's one of the best ballparks. I've been there. It's beautiful. It's everything, but I don't know what they do structurally to get out of this hole. It's way too big.
Yeah, it is.
And like you said, selling the team's not going to do much because a new owner is going to come in, and unless he's Steve Cohen-esque or Dodgers ownership type group, there's not going to be any money to get this team out of the hole because there's just no money coming in. Period.
No, and what owner wants to go pay 1 point something billion or $2 billion for a team? You got to go then put $100 million a year back into to make it viable, to make the team something,
if not more.
Yeah, if not more.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
And this is we've talked about this with the whole Steven Strasburg situation. There is not an injury retirement in MLB like there's in the NFL. These are guaranteed contracts. If a guy retires, he in effect forfeits the contract. So why would he retire and forfeit the contract? He wouldn't. He's going to hang around and just not play and get paid.
Yeah.
Now the Rockies could always try to settle with him and say, hey, if you retire, we'll pay out X. Maybe the contract is insured. I highly doubt that it is. But it's not a way out for the Rockies here. Like they're going to have to pay Chris Bryant every penny of that contract because there's no way to not.
Well, that was like the national bringing up Strasburg, like you just did. The national, even though Strasburg's like, listen, I can't get my arm past a 90 degree angle. And they're like, all right, buddy, we'll see you in spring training.
Right.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Because why would he retire and forfeit the remainder of the contract? Like you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Coors Field is immaculate. It is everything. The backdrop, the field itself, the rock pile, which I've sat up in there. It's pretty cool. But I just don't know. I don't know where the Rockies go.
But. Yeah, that's also a ballpark that's beginning to age. That's going to need some love. I mean, the Rockies are in a tough spot. That's not a great baseball market. It's a good baseball market, but it's not a huge market. You don't have the ability to leverage a great TV deal. You don't have the way to fill the stadium because you don't have anybody coming up in the pipeline. Nobody wants to go and play there. Like if there's a thing, if there truly is a rock bottom, the Rockies are there. Exactly. They're at Rockies bottom. And you can only go up from here. The problem is there's nothing, nobody's dropped you a rope. There's no elevator. There's no light even. Like you don't know which way is up. You've got no moves here.
No. Holla at a playa. We will get to this in a little bit. So hang on to that thought. But all right. We'll move on from the Rockies. We'll get to some Braves talk here. Alex Verdugo, since starting 0 for 5 in his Braves debut or the game after, I don't really know. He started 0 for 5, whatever. Verdugo is now 12 for 31 with 5 extra base hits and 5 RBIs in 7 games. Harrison, you called this. As soon as he was ready, he was coming up, and this guy was getting optioned down, which is exactly what happened. So Kelenic goes down in the emergence of Alex Verdugo. Braves seem to have turned things around at this point.
Can you say that again?
They have turned things around at this point, it seems.
Okay.
And I'm wrong. I'll admit it.
That's all I wanted, Nick. That's all I wanted.
I looked at this team and it just felt like something was missing. I couldn't put my finger on it. I still can't put my finger on it. I'm still not really sold on them completely, but they're playing good baseball right now because they're semi-healthy. Now,
for now,
but you lost Strider again. We don't know if that's what the significance of that is. Kelenic is done. Braves still have, you guys are flying in the chat. I keep clicking the wrong one here. Braves still have Acuna. He's coming back. So that's another saving grace for this team. I don't know. I think it's mid-May was the last timetable I heard on Acuna.
Yeah, so the last update was mid-May, but there's no indication that he's on that time frame because he's not. Okay, so as of yesterday, the Braves came back and said, we're still not putting a timeline on it. We'd like to see him resume baseball activities this month.
Okay.
So there's still no timeline on it. And honestly, the emergence of Verdugo has allowed them to take a little bit of a breath and step back and give him a little more time.
Yeah. As long as you don't get popped for PEDs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another whole side story to this Brave story as well.
Well, and I think Jared Kelenic's going to go down as one of those stories of a guy with talent that could just never put it together. He was such a highly touted prospect. He was so good in the minors, and every opportunity he's had in Major League Baseball, he's just squandered because he just can't get it done.
Yeah.
And then he does things like not run a ball out, which makes him not likable, and it just further hurts his cause. And he may go down as one of the kind of the biggest top prospect busts, because he was so hyped and he's done so little.
Yeah, to piggyback that is he's had his chances.
So many.
He's had opportunity to break through, and he just can't quite get there. And unfortunately, that's baseball. We, as Red Sox fans, we talk about Bobby Dahlbeck quite a bit. He goes down to AAA and demolishes AAA.
Yep.
When he comes up to the big club, he just can't seem to find consistency. And that's what it is. There's a lot of guys like that. They just can't quite make that next step. But it's too bad. It really is. But definitely a bust. Had his chance, couldn't quite get there. But
I mean, his best season was 2023. He was a 2.1 WAR player, hit 253 with 11 and 49. You know, pretty average performance. But this is a former first round pick, 6 overall to the Mets. He went in the Cano deal. Was it the Cano deal?
Sounds right. Because he
Seattle?
came from the Mets, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Mets to the Mariners.
Yeah.
And he's just never been able to put it together.
Well, I think he was a prospect with the Mets. I don't think he was on the big club with the Mets.
He never played in the majors with the Mets. His major league debut was Seattle in 2021.
Yeah, and the M's gave him the opening day job. Yeah, I'm with you, Captain. I mean, I don't know, man. It's too bad. It is tough to see stories like this where guys come up just can't quite make it. But next guy up, and that's Alex Verdugo right now. So
yeah. Well, and back to the Rockies, the comment about Zach Veen. He had that epic bat flip in spring training. He's one of the few maybe exciting guys coming up for the Rockies. He is he's a character.
Yeah. All right. Tommy Edman hit a walk-off for the Dodgers on his first day off of the season. So he comes in as a pinch hitter late in the game, just hits a walk-off single to win it. Is Edman an early front runner for NL MVP?
I think he's the Dodgers MVP at a minimum.
Which would automatically make him the NL MVP.
Right. I mean, it's scary to think that Tommy Edman right now is the best player out of a group of Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Yamamoto. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
He has been the Dodgers' best player for April. And it's not close. It's not even up for debate.
No, I agree fully. That's why you can't take him out of the lineup.
No, and on his day off, you still run him out there in a big moment and he gets a hit for you. It's stupid. Like what he's doing is so out of character for him, but he's having like the season of his life, and it's only freaking April. He's going to match his career highs and stuff in May at this rate.
Yeah, he's raking. I mean, it started in the playoffs last year. He had a crazy run, but. Yeah, I think he's the front runner right now. Is there anybody else in the NL that you could see near the top for NL MVP? I know it's the first month of baseball. I get it. It's tough. But is there any? I mean, Pete Alonso?
Yeah, I mean, Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso have been great. Kind of hard to argue with what they've done. Alonso especially. I mean, Kyle Tucker is still my runaway pick for MVP.
Tucker,
And then the Padres, you could make a case for Tatis. You can make a case for, I mean, probably just Tatis out of that group. The Giants, you can make a case for Young-Ho Lee right now, who's been absolutely raking for them. There's a lot of players I think right now that have had really great Aprils. Of course, let's look back in June and July and see where they are. But you've had a lot of, I would say, surprises in April.
Yeah. Yeah, he got lost in the lineup. I can definitely see that. You can get lost in that lineup in a hurry. I mean, Teoscar. I just go right down the line.
Hall of Famers.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. He's playing the ball and reaping the benefits of being in that lineup for sure.
Yeah,
and he's a damn good player. I mean, let's call it as it is. But
I mean, he was a solid guy in St. Louis. St. Louis was kind of in a weird spot. And he had some good seasons there. Yeah. And this is a guy that won a Gold Glove in 2021. He had a phenomenal season in 2022. He was a 6.2 WAR player in 2022.
Yeah,
one of the best in baseball. I mean, this is not a guy who's been a scrub,
right?
But his career high in home runs is 13. His career high in RBIs is 57. He's already 8-24 through April.
Yeah.
He's already outperformed last year. He only played in 10 more games, but he's way ahead of where he was for that little chunk of last year. I mean, he is absolutely it's like we said last week. He has found a fit and is absolutely riding that.
Oh, 1,000%. Watery Event says, I was born an M's fan. Wish we can get back to the 2001 series. We all could. We're not even Mariners fans, and we wish we could go back and watch that.
That was a great season, and I watched a lot of the Mariners that season because they just played such great baseball. They weren't super flashy. They just played solid baseball.
Hang on to this, John. We are bringing up this guy, so hang on. You guys are all jumping the gun on us this week.
I love it. We're already ahead of us.
We're really anxious today.
They want to talk about their team. John's got good stuff to talk about the Mariners for once.
Yeah, for once. You're welcome. All right. New York Yankees, second time in Yankees history, they hit 4 home runs in the first inning of a game. Second time this year, both on the 29th of a month. So March 29th and then April 29th. Note, Yankees aren't scheduled to play on May 29th. So good for whoever they're supposed to be playing that. I mean,
always June.
Right. But absolutely insane. They've never done it in Yankees history, which we all know how long that is. And then they do it twice in back-to-back months to start the season. Crazy. But just thought it was a cool little tidbit.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a team that we knew they could hit. Like there's no surprise that we knew they could hit. They've actually pitched a little better than expected, and that is why they are sitting at the top of the AL East, where I don't know that a lot of people expected to see them. I think a lot of people expected, like we did, they'd kind of finish in that second or third slot a few games back.
Yep.
But they have been running. And they've been great against good teams.
Yeah.
Which they've got the best record in the division against good teams.
Yeah. Hard to argue. Yeah, I think the pitching for them is a surprise for sure. But
yeah. Jay Buhner was so underrated. I used to love Jay Buhner. And he would, every time he came to Boston, that guy would end up in the bullpen making a catch. He then hit a home run later in the game, and the friggin' Mariners would win.
Yeah. Yeah, the Yankees always are going to be good with Judge. Listen, I agree. Judge is such a great leader on and off the field for that team. He's solid. He never gets too high, never gets too low. He can go 0 for 4, and you couldn't tell if he went 4 for 4 with 4 bombs. Like, he's the same.
Yeah. And
you need that guy in your clubhouse that doesn't get high, doesn't get low, and is just steady leader for that team. And that's what he is.
Yep.
Oh, 25 of our 26 guys are injured. That's fine. We're still going to go out and win.
Doesn't phase him. He just keeps going.
That's what you need for sure.
And it always helps when you're building a lineup around the greatest hitter in baseball.
That
also doesn't hurt.
Yeah. All right. Dalton Varsho's catch the other night. Oh my goodness. If you have not seen, I'm sure everyone's seen this at some point this week because this thing was ridiculous. So Jarren Duran hits the ball to the track. Varsho goes back, tumbles into like a somersault barrel roll type thing with his back to the catch to home plate. He somehow turns his head at the last second, puts his glove out to the backhand, and makes the catch on the fly. It easily catch of the year.
It might be. I mean, the whole catch started with a mistake with the trip, but it's got to be one of the greatest catches I've ever seen to recover from that. So, catch of the year, probably. But it also may be one of those highlight reels people looking back on in 10, 15, 20 years, remembering where they were when it happened, because that was nuts.
Bonkers, dude.
That was nuts.
I watched that like 20 times in a row. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Like, I was just like, how? How?
Yeah, to have the presence of mind to trip, tumble over, and still pivot your body and get your arm back around to make that catch. I mean, most outfielders when they tripped would take them right out of the play. That's it. They'd be scrambling and trying to get back on their feet. He had the presence of mind to know I don't have time for that, so I've got to pivot and reach and do what I can.
Dude, that would have drilled me right in the back of the noggin.
Yeah, talk about concentration. I mean, that's it is unbelievable he was able to recover and make that catch.
It is easily one of the wildest catches I've ever seen. I think the other one that happened last year was a Twins right fielder. I can't remember exactly who it was, but it was, I think, against the Astros. He was up against the right field wall. He robbed the home run and like flung it back into play somehow, and then had to lay out on the warning track. Like, that one was crazy too. But
Well, Dwayne Wise making the catch for Mark Burley.
That one is forever cemented in my mind. That one's
Another one in
crazy.
my head was at Xavier Nady for the Mets, who actually went up over the wall and reached like back behind the wall to make the catch and bring it back in the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
there are, and obviously we know the Bo Jackson and Griffey catches, they're legendary, but there's only so many plays that you recall vividly. This is going to be one that we all remember for a long time.
Yeah. And that's why they make the big bucks. I couldn't agree more, John.
And Varsho's always been known as a great defender, and boy, did he prove it there.
Yeah. And for sure this year so far, it will end up in some top 10s out there. I agree fully. And I think he just came back from injury too, right?
Yeah, he'd been out for a little bit.
It was like his first game back. The best part of that whole video, though, was the pitcher's reaction. The look on his face was just like,
what? And then then he's like, wow. And then you look him turn to the catcher, almost like, did you see that? Like he snaps his head back to the catcher. And then Varsho gets up, starts walking back in to throw it in. And the look on his face is like, it went from like pure horror of, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened, to, wow, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely insane. Like I said, I think I watched it a good 10, 15 times more today. I can't get enough of it. It's crazy.
Yeah. It was a fantastic catch, and of course it was against our Red Sox, so
yeah, of course
makes it even better for Blue Jays fans.
Yep. Not good for my fantasy team though. I could have used another double out of Duran that game, but
yeah, well,
whatever. But yeah, absolutely crazy. All right,
here you go, John.
Here he is. Jorge Polanco records all 5 RBIs the other night on 2 home runs after being named AL Player of the Week the week before. Harrison, did we underrate this Mariners lineup?
I mean, based on performance, yeah, I think we did not give them nearly enough credit for what they would do. I will say I don't think they can keep this up all year, because it's literally been like 3 guys. It's been Jorge Polanco, Cal Raleigh, and Arozareno's had a hell of a week and a half too. It's literally been 3 guys carrying this whole offense, and Cal Raleigh kind of got a little quiet, and Polanco came on. They've been kind of stacking and lining up somebody hot at the right time. I don't know if they can maintain it, but yeah, this offense is better than we thought. I still don't believe that they're actually going to be this good all year, but it's been a great start for them. And I think if nothing else, it's given them confidence to know that, like, hey, we can score runs. And I think that does a lot for them going forward. It gets that little bit of the monkey off their back that we know we can do it. Now let's go do it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, J-Rod still really hasn't like gotten going yet, has he? I mean, he's had some good games here and there, but he's still not like the J-Rod we expect.
Yeah, last I looked, I'm just going to pull it up real quick, see if because I looked a couple days ago. Yeah, he's still batting 207. So last I looked, he's sitting around 200.
Yeah.
I mean, he really hasn't done much. He's hitting 207, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs.
Yep. Yeah, I just pulled it up too.
Because last I saw, he was hovering around 200. So he's been there all month. He just hasn't been able to break out of it. And John, thank you for giving us some credit, but I definitely think we underrated them some. But you're right, their approach. The one thing I've noticed through all this, and we were dogging them early in the year, was their approach. Their free swing flailers. That's stopped. They are working counts. They're taking pitches. They're getting deeper in counts. And this is the team that didn't do that.
Right.
Like they were, and yeah, Julio's knowledge of the strike zone is comical. Most everybody was swinging like Julio. They were chasing freaking everything. And when that stopped about 2.5 weeks ago, this offense blew up. Yeah. It was almost like you could see it from like one night to the next, some sort of like switch flipped, and they stopped chasing crap, and now all of a sudden they're hitting.
Yeah. Oh, maybe this guy knows what he's talking about. Maybe we should listen.
It was the weirdest thing. They started off rough, and then they just changed. The approach just changed. It's almost like the coach is like, just try it. Like, just give it a shot.
Yeah.
And here it is working.
Yeah. Captain says, I always thought the Twins didn't value Polanco enough, but the M's are still going to be around 500 this year. And who knows? A 500 ball club might be what comes out of the AL West. I mean, we'll get to the Rangers too in a little bit here. They're kind of scuffling. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. It's still a coin flip out there for me. I don't know who wins, but
I mean, right now the Oakland Athletics are in 3rd place with the Rangers a game behind them.
Yeah.
And the A's just absolutely stuffed it to Texas last night. That game, it was a 1-1 game till the ninth when the A's blew up on them.
Yeah.
Rooker had a 3-run bomb. I mean, it blew up on them so fast.
Butler with a grand slam in the top of the ninth.
Yep.
Yeah. And that A's team, man, I love watching them.
I've watched more A's baseball in April than I've probably watched in like the last 2 years. Like I see them on, I'm like, I'm watching it.
I think I've watched more A's games than I have my Diamondbacks or Red Sox games combined this year.
Oh, like, for sure.
No joke.
I've watched the A's more than the Diamondbacks for sure.
I'm finding now it's almost easier for me to watch the West Coast games because I get home from work at 8, so all the 7 o'clock games are halfway over. So like I'm still ready to go at 10 o'clock, and I watch the full game, and then I'm like, I look at my watch, I'm like, crap, it's 1:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Dang it.
Here we go.
Yep. But
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Exactly. That ALS is going to be an interesting race. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a high quality race, but it will be a good one, if that makes any sense.
No, I think the AOS is full of teams that are good, but nobody that's great.
Fair. I think that's what I was
You're going to see a lot of good baseball in that division, but not a lot of great baseball.
Yep. All right. Bobby Witt Jr. So today he extends his hitting streak to 22 games with a home run. Are we witnessing the career of one of the best shortstops ever or the best ever?
I mean, if Bobby Witt, I mean, this is obviously a massive hypothetical, but if Bobby Witt continues to play like he has, he will be on the Mount Rushmore of shortstops for sure. Because he is so well-rounded. Average, power, speed, defense. You know, everybody dogs on Jeter because Jeter wasn't good defensively, and he wasn't. Jeter did not have great range, did not have the best hands. He was a winner. You know, Jeter is who he is because he was a winner. Witt will surpass all those guys. He's a better version of A-Rod, not as much power, more well-rounded. He's a better version of Jeter. I mean, honestly, Bobby Witt is who we all hoped Nomar would be consistently. And then Nomar with the injuries couldn't do it. He is so well-rounded.
Yep. Yeah, I agree, John. He's got a ways to go. He's crazy young. There's so much of his career left. We all know the baseball gods are cruel. I have said that before, right? I mean, it can all be taken away in an instant. And I hate when that happens, but we just don't know. I'm just saying, hypothetically, at this moment, does he look like he could be the best shortstop of all time? I'm with you. He's going to have the power numbers. I mean, 25, 30 home runs every year, 100 RBIs every year. If he can just maintain that for his career, he's going to be up there for sure.
I mean, he's a career 16.5 WAR in 4 seasons. He doesn't turn 25 until June.
Yeah.
His level of talent, but even more so than talent, like his baseball IQ is so off the charts. You watch the plays he makes, the way he positions himself, the way he sets himself up, the way he approaches at bats. He has the baseball IQ of some of the best players we've ever seen at 25.
Right.
Imagine giving a guy like Albert Pujols or Yadi Molina that level of knowledge at a young point in their career, how much better they would have been.
Which is crazy if you're talking about Pujols, because his career was pretty good last time I checked.
And he was rough early on, and then he figured it out. But Bobby Witt came up from minute 1 and had it figured out.
Yeah.
He's just so good. It's not right.
Captain, as a Red Sox fan, I'm with you. But it's also hard to know what kind of culture he would have brought to that other team he was on. Right? Like, he was one of those silent leaders that he had that winning gene in him. And some guys have that, some guys don't. It's an intangible. You can't measure it, right? And he might not be the best, the most talented guy out there, but something about him and what he puts out there wins. You can't put your finger on it. Like, there's no statistical thing you can be like, oh yeah, Jeter's the best here. Jeter's the best here. Jeter's the best here.
Here,
it doesn't matter when your hands are full of championship rings.
Here's the analogy that I make. Jeter is the baseball equivalent of Tom Brady. Alex Rodriguez is the baseball equivalent of Peyton Manning. A-Rod was the better player, better physically, better everything, better baseball player. Derek Jeter was a winner. He brought out the best in the guys around him. He was one of those guys who refused to lose. And that was Tom Brady. Peyton Manning was the better quarterback than Tom Brady. Tom Brady was a winner. He demanded perfection. He expected everybody around him. He made everybody around him better. But he was not the best quarterback of his era. He was a winner. And you don't have to be the best player to be the one that wins the most. You just have to have that inability to lose.
Right. That it factor.
Yep.
And there's no stats that can measure that, but
no, there's not.
Yeah.
Because statistically, you lay out Jeter's career, and I mean, Jeter's obviously a Hall of Famer. 3,465 hits. You could play in friggin' Pittsburgh, and that's a Hall of Famer. But what makes him a Mount Rushmore type player is because he was a winner.
Yeah.
Lots of guys have 3,400 hits. I shouldn't say lots, but several guys have 3,400 hits that we wouldn't put on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Can we talk about the Phillies? Honestly, I haven't seen a lot of them because they're playing against the Washington Nationals. I'm blacked out of them, quite a bit. I still hate that. But Ranger Suarez looks like he's going to be back into that rotation sometime soon. That's only going to bolster their rotation. The Phillies are going to be there in the end. They always are. They find a way to be there in the playoffs. I'm still not sold on them getting past a first or second round. Do you?
No, the Philly. The reason there's not much to talk about with the Phillies is because they haven't had a very good month. They've been very Jekyll and Hyde. They've had a good stretch, a bad stretch, a good stretch, a bad stretch. They got walked off on by the Nats the other night when they blew a lead. Have I watched the Phillies? Yeah. And sadly, there's nothing really to talk about with them because it's been a super uneven April. I do believe in the end they're going to be at the top of that division, probably second.
Yeah.
They're going to make the playoffs. Based on what I've seen, I do not trust this team in a competitive playoff series. So I think they're probably going to be a round or two and out. I thought this team was going to be better. And they've been super inconsistent and uneven. And, they've been moving Schwarber around the lineup because there's nights where he's the entire offense. And that's not good. He hit another first inning home run for them the other night, 3-run bomb in Washington. They moved him down the order because they needed to put some thump in the middle because that lineup has been flat. It's a team that can't seem to get, they're like the Red Sox to me right now. A team that is good. They just can't put together a good week. You look up and it's like, oh, they went 3-3, or they went 3-4. They went 3-3 again. They just can't seem to break out of this cycle of they can't put together back-to-back series.
Yeah, and they will. They'll figure it out. They have a lot of veterans. Way too good. A lot of veterans on that team. The Phillies will be fine. And their rotation, again, with Logan Gilbert going out with the Mariners, on paper is probably one of the best rotations in the league. You got Wheeler, Nola, Christopher Sanchez. You just keep going down. Taijuan Walker's actually pitching pretty well for them. So they have the pitching. I don't know. They got to find the bats.
And I do think there's some level of these guys pressing. And before I move on, Trey Turner, I don't know what the hell has happened to that guy. He's gotten to Philadelphia and forgotten how to play good baseball. The errors, I can't watch him play anymore. He drives me crazy. And he has really good nights and really good weeks, and then he falls apart again. He has been such a massive disappointment for that team. And defensively, he's been a train wreck.
Yep. He needs another standing ovation here soon.
Yeah. But at the same time, like Philly fans can't have to keep picking this guy and dusting him off. Like you're paying him to be an elite level player and a leader on that team. not somebody who needs to get a pat on the back every couple of nights to stay on track. He's been a disaster. That signing has not worked. And I will say, we said on this show when they signed with that contract, we all went, whoa, that's a massive overpay for Trey Turner. And we were right. So we'll take a victory lap on that one.
Yep. I agree.
But I do believe there's a level of pressing on that team because they realize the window's closing.
Yeah.
Schwarber's a free agent. Suarez is a free agent. You got a bunch of guys coming up. Schwarber's already said, I'm not signing here. I'm not signing here before the season ends. I'm going to go test free agency. I'll call you guys back.
Yeah.
I think they realize the window's beginning to close.
Yeah. Which means Harper will get traded to Vegas at some point here.
Well, that or they're going to go through a year or two where they're, an okay-ish team while they rebuild and find new pieces. But yes, this is a great way to put it. They're one of the best on paper teams because every year they look like a World Series winner, and every year they can't get it done. On paper, this is a great team, but every year they don't get it done.
Again, in a National League, that's an absolute gauntlet too. I mean, there's too many good teams all across the National League, and it is what it is, but I don't see them coming out on top in any scenario with the other teams that are in the National League right now. Not with the way the Cubs are playing. Like Dodgers, you still can't rule them out.
Dodgers are tied for the best record in baseball.
Yeah, the Giants are playing out of their minds right now. I'm not saying they're going to be there at the end, but my God. I mean, you go around that Braves are, have come back to life. There's just too many teams. Diamondbacks, Padres, just keep going. The Reds are in a playoff position right now. I mean, there's too many teams right there.
Yeah, and your previous comment, Captain, about moving Schwarber to a production spot, I understand why they had him bat leadoff because, he can ambush you. He's a high OBP guy, makes sense to be there. A low average guy, but it doesn't really matter. You want OBP as a leadoff spot, and he can shock you with a home run.
Right.
So I totally got why they put him there, but for me, he was always a guy who projected as more of like a 4 or a 5 hitter, a guy who would clean up a lot of RBIs. The leadoff spot always just seemed weird.
Yeah, I think it's his OBP that puts him in that top spot because his OBP is off the charts. His batting average was like, what was it? His batting average was like 197, but his OBP was like 400, and was it 2022 or something like that? It was something like ridiculous.
So his 197 batting average season, his OBP was still almost 350.
Yeah, I mean, what? It's crazy.
I mean, right now he's hitting 245 with a 398 OBP.
Yeah. Which that's a crazy high average for him right now.
Well, it is. I mean, he finished last year at 248. He had a pretty decent finish of the year and a 366 OBP.
Yeah.
197 Ks, 106 walks last year.
Yeah.
It's a lot of walks.
It's a ton. All right. Here we go. Mike Trout listed day-to-day after running out a ground ball and lunging into the first base bag. It looks like he jammed his left leg a little bit, kind of hit the bag a little hard. Is this precautionary or just the same old Mike Trout?
I really hope it's not the same old Mike Trout and it's just precautionary. When his foot hit that bag, I was like, oh my goodness. Like that screams meniscus, that screams something. That's going to be a big deal. It sounds like it's not. It's more of a strain, but he had also played in all 29 games. So let's take a moment to acknowledge the fact that he played in 29 straight games for the first time in like forever.
Which we said we didn't want him to do.
No, he needs rest.
Even though you moved him to right field, which is what we wanted. We wanted to take him out of that center field spot to save him from himself. You still got to give this guy a night off once a week, at least.
Yeah. And I feel like that might have been him pushing a little bit to like see what he could do. And I can appreciate that. He wants to keep pushing. He wants to see what he can get done. He wants to see what he can physically handle. Great. But you cannot have him go down again. So I'm hoping it's precautionary. There's been no reports that it's anything more than that. They're just trying to play it safe, which is great. Give him a breather, let him get back out there. But he's had a great start to the year. Yeah. And you want to see that continue.
You can't afford to lose him. at all. And us as fans, we can't afford to lose him again, or still, or I don't even know what to use there. But I want to see Mike Trout's numbers after a full season. Even if he plays 100, I would take 120 games right now. Give me 120 games of Mike Trout. Like, I'm not asking for anything more than that. Give me 120 games.
Because last time he played 120 games, he had 40 home runs.
Yeah. We won't talk about his RBI totals being on that wretched Angels team.
Yeah,
but
40 home runs and 45 RBIs.
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty close. I don't think you were far off. But yeah, I hope it's nothing major. I hope he's just taking a couple days off, take a breather, come back.
Yeah. They've also been a fun team to watch. They hit a tough stretch. They've lost 5 in a row, but they were humming along. They're right around 500, kind of a pleasant surprise. And then they've fallen off the rails a little bit, but I do think that him coming back will help. Him coming back is really the only hope they have of being relevant.
Yeah. We have talked about this before. I mean, again, that wouldn't surprise me. The Dodgers are a half hour up the road, so
it'd be convenient. Well,
be convenient.
Yeah, half hour by the way a crow flies, but 3 hours in that traffic.
Well, right. But we think the most realistic trade scenario for Mike Trout would be Philly, but we don't think that will happen. We think I think he retires an Angel. I don't think there's any way he's going anywhere.
Yeah, I think he has no desire to go anywhere else. I mean, Philly would make sense. It brings him closer to home. And if Schwarber does leave, maybe the Phillies make a bigger push, but they can't. Nobody else can absorb that contract.
Yeah. And John, I agree. He goes to Philly. He's from Jersey originally. His family's now settled in Southern California. So he's like, I'm not going to chase the money. Chase the money. The money came to him, but he didn't have to go anywhere to get the money. I just see him retiring as an Angel because he's come out and said, he's like, I'm settled here. I don't want to move. I don't want to uproot my family. But
yep.
Yeah, Angels version of King Felix. Yeah, I agree. Yep. And then definitely Philly if he gets traded. 1,000%.
Yeah, I mean the reality of it is this is gonna be the last contract of his career. It ends after his age 38 season. I highly doubt he's still physically able to play at age 39. I mean, this contract will take him to the end. I don't think anybody's going to trade for it. You don't want to pay this guy $35.5 million a year.
Yeah.
To play 100 games.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you here, Flat Cheese. It's definitely like see him retiring as an Angel. He's made his whole career there. Why would
he's made it clear to him. He made it clear to everybody. He likes it there. His family likes it there. He's comfortable. He doesn't have this pressing need to go somewhere else and try to prove anything. He's very content just doing his thing there.
Yep. All right, let's get to the Texas Rangers. So we'll stay in the AL West here, I guess. I guess it's the AL West version of the show today. Optioned to quote-unquote reset. Rangers have a homerless streak at 5 games, and a lot of pressure is being put on Garcia to provide offense in the middle of that lineup. And he has. Garcia's actually been single-handedly pretty much the bright spot of that lineup right now. But the whole Rangers offense is scuffling.
What's sad is his numbers aren't like jump off the page good. Like that's where they're at.
Yeah. But you have Jock Peterson that is 1 for 67. How have they not released him at this point?
Jock Peterson's sitting 108 on the year.
Yeah. I mean,
he's now up to 8 hits and 74 at bats.
Yeah. So why are you optioning this guy to reset when you have a veteran like Jock Peterson going 8 for 74, not being released?
Yeah.
I don't quite get that move. My cousin from Texas actually literally just texted me not that long ago, and he goes, Jake Burger's option, but nothing's done with Jock. Like, what am I missing? I don't know, bud. I'm missing the same thing. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's basically been the Wyatt Langford show most nights, and then the Adolis Garcia show other nights. But they're getting nothing out of the rest of that lineup. I mean, Jonah Heim has been a mess. He's come around of late, Corey Seager's been good, but of course it's Corey Seager. He's hot and cold. But I mean, Jake Berger is not your biggest problem. I mean, the strikeout numbers are frightening. Like he's just a ton of Ks. But you got this whole lineup's underperforming. Marcus Simeon's hitting $188. They just, as a team, they are horrendous offensively. They can't hit with runners in scoring position. They can't get runners on base, and there's no power on this team.
Yeah,
There's
no
none.
power. There's no speed. I mean, you got a couple guys that can run a little bit, but otherwise than that, you just got a lot of base cloggers. Really,
Well, that's
up and
it. I
down
mean,
that lineup.
You've got this team is too talented to be playing like this, but they can't get anything going.
Yeah, but I mean, you traded for Jake Berger to take his strikeouts with his 35 bombs, and I guess if those 35 bombs aren't coming in a month, then you're going to option him down. But
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not saying Jake Berger's been great. He's hitting 190 with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs, but Marcus Simeon's hitting 188 with 2 and 13.
Yeah, but you're also paying Marcus Simeon a lot more money to.
Yeah.
You're not going to send him down. You're not going to option him down.
No, but I mean, you look around the lineup, and Adolis Garcia's hitting 218 with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. Has he been good? Yeah. Has he been great? No. Wyatt Langford is your clear-cut MVP of that team right now, and he's at 296, 6 and 12 RBIs.
Yeah,
because there's friggin' never anybody on base in front of him.
Right. Jock needs to be mashing in your local professional baseball league. I agree. Or amateur baseball league at this point.
Yeah.
Men's league. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, like you said, I mean, they are talented, and just another team that can't put it together. I don't get it.
John, that's a hell of a story there.
Apparently the burger is raw, sent back to the kitchen in AAA to finish cooking that meat.
Jeez.
It's terrible. Moving on.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it, but man, that took a long time to deliver.
All right. Giolito and Tony Gonsolin here both made their first start since 2023 on the same day, which is actually pretty cool. Yeah. And the combined number of days that these two were between starts was astounding. I think it was like 671 or something like that together. For Giolito, 6-inning pitch, 7 Ks. Pretty good outing. I think Cora did leave him in a couple batters too long.
Yeah, he was done after 5. He went back out in the 6th and got lit up.
Yeah, but still, I'll take that. Like a good showing. He looked decent, looked good. I'll take it for right now.
Yep.
Gonsolin, 6-inning pitch, 9 Ks, looks really good. So that's somebody the Dodgers need desperately right now with Snell and Glasnow going down. Gonsolin's coming back at exactly the right time.
And Gonsolin's a beast. Let's not forget that this guy in 2022 was 16-1 with a 2.14 ERA.
Yeah.
Before he got hurt and kind of muddled through half of 2023 and then went out.
Yep.
This guy is super good.
Yep.
And he is, and like you said, the timing is perfect. They need him back bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like we love, like, I know it's the Dodgers, but like we love comeback stories like this. And they come back and they're making an impact on their team right away. Like I love when the guys come back from injury, like prolonged injuries, and can make an impact for sure. Harlem, I think right now, I mean, all indications are yes. Yeah, I don't know if there's another team in the AL that really competes with the Yankees at this point. We thought with them losing Garrett Cole, it kind of notched them. I mean, I think it still does notch them down towards the rest of the league, but the Orioles are out. The Orioles are terrible. I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, Red Sox are there. I mean, the Mariners are there. Who else competes in the AL to knock the Yankees off?
I mean, honestly, the Yankees, I think, are still showing they're the best team in the AL right now. Their pitching has been terrible. I mean, Max Fried's been good. He's really come on strong the last few starts. But then you got a bunch of guys who are really kind of struggling behind him. So I would say their pitching is still very suspect, but they can hit. My goodness, can they mash?
Yeah.
And Could they go back to the World Series? Yeah, I don't think they'll win one. They're too lopsided, I think, to win. But this team is better than we expected, which scares me to what they would look like. And you also have Devin Williams, who's been terrible. Like, your bullpen's been a mess too, and you're still
Right.
Your rotation's been a mess, your bullpen's been a mess, and you're still a couple games up in the AL East at the end of April. So
yeah, for me, it's not necessarily, I think the Yankees are dominating as much as, like, I don't think there's anybody else in the league that, in the American League, that can dethrone them at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's another team that can, like, come up and knock them off. You're on mute.
That was weird. So right now, the Yankees, I think, are proving that they are the best team in the American League. As of May 1st, they are still the best team in the American League.
Yeah.
I do think you've got teams like, the Mariners, the Red Sox, maybe even teams like the Rangers and the Orioles, who are gonna figure it out and be better. But they are still apparently gonna pace the AL. And until somebody can knock them down, then yeah, I think they are the front runner.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Captain. No one stepped up yet. And again, the season's crazy early. There is a team that will come up and challenge them. I have all the faith. That's how baseball is. But as of right now, I can't see a team that's gonna challenge them at this point.
That team mashes and they pitch just enough to win.
Yeah, agree. All right, staying with the Red Sox. Right before we came on, I saw this. My heart sank a little bit. Walker Buehler scratched from Friday's start with shoulder soreness. He'll head back to Boston for further evaluation. This is not good for us Red Sox fans, but more importantly, this is not good for Walker Buehler.
Mm-mm.
He has no opt-out. He has no club option, no team option, and no nothing. This is a solid 1-year deal, and then he's done. This could be possibly, if he's out for an extended period of time, we could be looking at possibly a career ender. I mean, is another team going to give him a shot?
I mean, and you're looking, if this is anything major, looking at another year or two out of baseball.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
I think for Walker Buehler, yeah, you are dangerously on the edge of, is my career over if this is another big one? Indications are it's just some soreness. They're being extra precautious because of the track record. They're hoping that it's just going to be a skipped start, but anything's possible. I mean, and this was a really bad day for the Red Sox. Walker Buehler is down. Marcelo Mayer was scratched with an injury. Christian Campbell was scratched today. They've got a lot of guys who are kind of popping up with nagging things. Not a good day for the Red Sox across the minors, the majors, all of it.
Yeah. And they've lost. They blew a 5-run lead yesterday. It's just
lost again today.
Yeah. Have they released the Boston Green City Connects yet? Officially?
No, they've not. They've not officially released them. So flat cheese, we don't know yet because we were told they were coming, but they haven't actually technically officially released them.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like things on Facebook and social media about what they might look like, but I don't know if those are officially what they are. But yeah, this one hurts because, like I said, not necessarily for us Red Sox fans. It hurts for Walker Buehler because now our favorite category that we like to talk about, he enters the what if category for us.
Yep.
Because we saw was it 2021 that he just absolutely mowed everybody down?
Yeah.
In LA?
And he was, I mean, I remember he was my Cy Young pick the following year. He was so dominant and then he got hurt and he's been trying to get back.
Yeah. And
this could be, if this is anything major, this could be the beginning of the end for him.
Yeah. And I wrongly picked this one. I had faith that Buehler was going to come and just absolutely dominate. because he was betting on himself. And I know what kind of competitor Walker Buehler is. And I was all in on that. I was like, he's going to come to a new place, new atmosphere, new training staff with no protection contract wise behind him, and just absolutely deal and bet on himself and win. That's what I was going on. And I just hope that this is just like, hey, he needs to skip a start. He'll be fine. And then that's that. I hope this isn't anything more than that.
Yep.
But
yeah, and this is Jacob deGrom is the ultimate what if guy. Mark Pryor.
That's a great comparison.
Another comparison. Those kind of guys. These are the guys that you saw pitch and you were like, oh my goodness, like I can't wait to see more of this. And then you never got to see more of it because they couldn't stay on the field.
Yeah.
And John, you were right before, the fact that he bet on himself. And that was Nick's point, is that, a guy on a prove it deal, that is when these guys, they put in all the extra work. Everything means more. These contract years and these prove it deals. And unfortunately, he's 4-1 with a 4.28 ERA. He's pitched good. He's not been great. He's been good. Better as his starts have gone on.
Yes.
So as a Red Sox fan, I was excited to see what the next start would look like because he's been improving in every start. We're not going to get to see that start, at least not this week. Bayo's going to slide in and take Friday's start.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that. Keep you all updated as we do every week.
Yeah. So Flat Cheese on the Green City Connects. The Red Sox came out and said they're going to do a Green City Connect. They just haven't officially released them. There are some leaks online. I don't know if they're the legitimate picture of the jersey, but Sam Kennedy came out in March that the Red Sox were going to do a Green City Connect uniform, but they didn't give any more information around design, shade, etc.
Yeah.
So we've not actually seen the City Connect, but we know that a green one is coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some with like the Green Monster green, obviously with like brick sleeves. Yeah. Like I've seen a whole bunch, so I don't know exactly what they look like.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of leaks, and I just don't know which ones.
I mean, I have a green Red Sox jersey for one. They used to wear them during spring training on St. Patrick's Day. I have a green Veritech jersey from that, but that was, Veritech, so that dates it.
The leak I saw a couple days ago was it's the green jersey. It's got kind of like a funky texture to it, so it looks like the Green Monster. It's the Green Monster writing. I saw that one a couple days ago.
Yeah,
but again, like nobody's been able to confirm if that's legit or just a concept.
Yeah. So,
but they're definitely getting a green jersey. We just don't know what it's going to look like.
Yep. All right, Kike Hernandez, the hat helmet. I don't know how else you would call it. That's what I'm naming it. I don't know if it's called the hat helmet or what, but
I like it.
We talked about a few weeks ago about how do pitchers protect themselves from these guys hitting 120 mile an hour rockets right back at their domes. And this looks awesome. So it's literally the front of a batting helmet that looks like it goes back to about right behind the ears, as you can see in the picture. And then it looks like a rubberized strap that goes around the back that has like a dial on it where it looks like you can tighten it up. Yep. So it kind of like form fits around your head. But this seems like a logical solution. Now, I say logical in quotes because Kike Hernandez isn't also throwing max effort. So like, what does it look like a guy that's trying to throw 100 and he's really lashing his body forward? Does the hat helmet stay on? I don't know. Or does it keep flying off like Josh Naylor in the batter's box?
Right.
I don't know. But you look like the top of the helmet is off. Like that's his actual hat sticking out. So it's literally just the front part that covers his ears. Well, a little bit, I guess. A little bit of his ears poking out of the bottom. But, it serves a purpose. It at least protects him. Now, do you see this as a possible logical solution? I mean, it's out there. Do we think we see pitchers do this or just position players not wanting to get killed out there in a 16 to -4 game?
So Nick, I did some research on this after you showed me the picture because I'm like, what the hell is that? Do you know how long he's been around?
85 years.
2016.
Oh, okay.
So MLB has provided a pitcher, one of these, since 2016. Every pitcher has one. They're provided in spring training to the players, and their replacements are available upon request. You know how many times they've been worn in the game?
Once.
by Kike Hernandez. And it wasn't even his. He borrowed one of the other pitchers. They're in the equipment room. So, we were talking about the fact that MLB needs to do something about it. They need to make something available. They did 9 years ago, and not a single pitcher has chosen to wear it.
Yeah.
And that's honestly why this is getting so much attention.
John
is the fact that
Yep.
Kike Hernandez is the first pitcher, because of course, when he steps on the mound, you become a pitcher positionally. Kike Hernandez is the first pitcher in MLB history to wear this hybrid hat helmet that's been sitting in equipment room since 2016.
Yeah.
So as much as we
That's
advocate
crazy.
for needing a solution, MLB's had one for 9 years. The players don't want it.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's the feedback on it is a bit, I would say, mixed. There are pitchers that do not like the fact he wore it, because now people are like, oh, they could be wearing this all along. Why aren't they wearing it? And a lot of pitchers are going, I don't want to wear it. I don't want this friggin' thing. Don't make me wear this. So it's brought awareness to an issue that I think in some cases for baseball players and pitchers in particular, they're like, we didn't want attention brought to this because we don't want to wear these.
Yeah.
So at the same time they started making these, they also, remember those Kevlar inserts you could put inside the band?
Yep.
So that was what some pitchers started to wear too. Nobody's worn those in a game in 7 years.
Yep.
So I think we screamed for a solution. MLB provided years ago. Pitchers don't want it. I don't think we can do anything more than that.
Nope.
But I remember when you sent me the picture, I'm like, what on earth is that thing? You're like, it's what we talked about. I was like, but did he make it? No, MLB's been making them for 9 years.
Yeah. And I brought up the Mets relief pitcher again. I can't remember his name, but it was almost the same exact thing, but it was a hat and it was padded all the way around. But
like
Kike
the Guardian cap.
Yeah. Kike wore this just as a spoof. Like, he's not trying to bring it to the game or whatever. Like, he's just out there having fun. But
his whole stance was, I'm throwing meatballs and I'm gonna get them hit back at me.
right.
So I'm wearing the helmet.
Yeah.
They should just wear gladiator masks. That would be sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was
cap and get him a chin strap.
Yeah, it was Alex Torres that wore that.
Oh, yeah.
That big like banded pad around, because he had something with his head earlier in his life and had something like that. But
John, we are entertained by your gladiator mask. That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
The little thing that comes across the nose.
And coming out of the bullpen, they need to be on a chariot.
Oh my goodness! Like coming on a horse, like with a big joust in their arm, ready to like fight.
Absolutely, with the Lone Ranger music playing,
or Timmy Trumpet.
I'll take either one. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I went down the rabbit hole of these helmet hat things, and I'm like, oh my god, like we're screaming for a solution. There's been one for years, and pitchers have just said we don't want it.
All right, chat, I'm counting on you here. Seymour Wiener.
Oh, this is only going to go bad for us.
The Mets announced that the superfan passed away last night. Went viral last year when he was the veteran of the game in the Mets home opener. I think it was opening day. I couldn't quite remember, so I just put Mets opener. And I remember watching this game, and I'm just like, excuse me, what was his name?
Yep.
Seymour Wiener?
Yep.
Okay. So
his cousin Seymour Butts was a couple rows over.
Yeah, right. And the comments on some of these were hilarious. Like, it seems like the name that Bart Simpson would call Moe's Tavern, and but the Mets kind of ran with this, and he was the poster child for dollar hot dogs all year. I don't really get that reference, but
thank you for the restraint, Cap'n. No comment.
But I just thought that was pretty wild, and it's just it's cool that he didn't take offense to it and kind of ran with it as well. Like, pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, and first of all, like, thank you for your service. I love to see when they honor veterans in this way. And yes, he knew what his name was. He knew what could be done with it. He was the dollar hot dog promoter, so you could see more wieners. Like, it was phenomenal. And he was totally cool with it. He was part of the promotion.
Yeah.
The Mets had fun with it. He had fun with it. The fans had fun with it. The whole thing was just like, it was its own, like, he's like a cult hero to New York Mets fans. And it's incredible. And I applaud it, but the jokes write themselves.
Right. I just remember, I'm like, my reaction, I think I texted Sean because Sean's like a big Mets fan.
Yep.
And I go, yo, are you watching this game right now? Did you just see the veteran of the game? He goes, oh, I haven't turned it on yet. I go, do yourself a favor and scroll right to the front of the game, like the pregame ceremonies, please. But hey, Texas Repo, you just joined us at a great time.
Yeah. And the 12-year-old boy in all of us giggles.
Yeah, just absolutely wild, but crazy.
But it was such a John, I knew somebody was going to go there.
All right. Moving on.
I'm pretty sure Seymour Wiener was seated next to like Oliver Closeoff and Dixie Wrecked, but
yeah.
The jokes write themselves, but it's such a cool story.
Oh, what's the one I sent you guys the other day? Oh, there was a guy, Dixie Upright. He was an MLB player.
And we're canceled. Thanks for tuning in.
No, I'm dead serious. He was a ball player from
Captain, did they have a Seymour Wiener day? Because that could get out of hand. Shorts optional.
So Dixie Upright, his career was in 1953 for the St. Louis Browns. He had a 0 career WAR, 2 hits and 8 at-bats, 1 home run. So he hit 250. 8 at-bats for Dixie Upright. So
did he,
go ahead
did he bring a bat to the plate or did he not need one?
All right, Jose Ramirez. First player in Cleveland history with 250 home runs and 250 stolen bases. 24th player in MLB history to reach this milestone. He's only 32. Will he be a top 5 third baseman of all time?
I mean, it's first of all, he's 32 years old. He's got 13 years in the league. First 250 guy in Cleveland history, 24th ever in baseball history. We say it all the time. He is the most underrated, underappreciated guy in baseball, and he is. And I think that's becoming less so every year. But what this guy does is incredible at a corner position that is not known for speed.
Right.
And I think that the pace he's on, I think when you look up, I think this is a guy who's potentially on the Mount Rushmore of third baseman one day. Because he's only 32. If you get another 6 or 7 solid years out of him, it's going to be hard. It'd be hard to imagine a world where he's not close to 500 home runs, at least in the 400s, with probably 300 plus stolen bases and getting massive consideration for the Hall of Fame and being a top 5 guy ever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna preface this with saying I think he is vastly overrated and has been his entire career. I'm with you on that.
You said overrated?
I meant underrated.
Okay, good.
I meant vastly underrated. Okay. Sorry. If I said over, I totally meant under. English is hard.
It is.
Yeah, vastly underrated. Now, I don't know if he ends up on the Mount Rushmore of third baseman, though. I mean, there's a lot of damn good third basemen out there. Mike Schmidt, Brooks Robinson, Chipper Jones. I mean, I could keep going.
Yep.
Is he in the discussion? I think Nolan Arenado could be, Mount Rushmore third baseman.
Yep.
Is Jose Ramirez up there? He gets a lot of consideration for it. I don't know if personally he would crack my Mount Rushmore third baseman. Wade Boggs. I mean, George Brett. So there's so many.
There are.
But, I mean, it's hard to argue with the numbers he's put up. He's still got, 7, 8 years left-ish? Maybe? Yeah. Top 5 of this era, I could definitely...
Oh, goodness, yes.
I could go to battle with that one. I could have a good debate with somebody for that, for sure. As in the last 15 years. Yeah, I'm with you. I could win that argument for sure.
I think he's probably top 3 in the last 15 or 20 years, but
of all time is tough.
All time is tough. Will he be in the, like I said, you get into the 6 or 7 strong years out of him, and he's right up there in Chipper Jones class. The difference with Ramirez is he did everything. Home runs, batting average, speed, RBIs, defense. All of it. Most of those guys that are on that all-time third base list didn't do everything. They did a few things really, really well.
That's fair.
And I think that's the one thing Ramirez has going for him is that he might be the most, I'll make this comment. he might be one of the 3 best overall third baseman ever in terms of what he provides in each facet of the game. He may not be top 5 all time of just when you rank him, but when you look at the overall contribution in all facets of the game, there's very few third basemen that can say I contributed on the bases, in the batter's box, on the field. He did everything.
Yeah, I mean, I could also get behind that too. He's on Cleveland's Rushmore.
yeah.
Oh, as soon as
Already.
he signed that contract extension, he was. You know what I mean?
He's there today. He's on Cleveland's Mount Rushmore today.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Beltre? I said Brooks. I said Schmidt. Beltre for sure, not Beltran.
Yeah, Beltre's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, there's just too many.
There's a lot.
I think I'm with Captain. I could argue maybe getting him into the top 10. I don't know if I could get him on the Mount Rushmore. There's just too much out there. But I also agree with your point with how much he does bring to the game in different areas of the game. I can totally get behind that argument as well.
And I think that's what makes Jose Ramirez a tough guy to find a spot for, is that he's so different than your typical third baseman. Most of your third basemen were, good gloves, big arms, home run hitters. That's your prototypical third baseman.
Right.
And you look down that list, all those guys were that.
Yeah.
I think with Jose adds the addition of speed that none of those guys had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I totally agree with you, John. I mean, a few more good seasons, he's absolutely Hall of Famer. Like, yes.
Yeah, I agree. All right. We had a reel go absolutely insane. We had over 800,000 views on it. It was a question that I posed a few weeks ago. And I posed the question of what is the fewest amount of pitchers that can be thrown to set down an inning? That was the question I posed. Now, as the internet always does, you can never defeat the internet. So tons of different answers came out because of my lack of English skills, which I've already told you I suck at. So
I don't know. I think you taught good, Nick.
Yeah. So I said an inning is 6 outs. That's what these are some of the responses we got. They said an inning is 6 outs. He said thrown indicated they had to throw at least one. And then another one was crazy scenarios thrown out all over the place, like 3 intentional walks, and they all get picked off. Now,
I mean,
yes, yes, that could happen. Realistically, is someone going to do that? No. No one is going to put the first guy on, pick him off, put the next guy on, pick him off. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a realistic scenario. So I should have said, yeah, words are hard, Captain. I get it. They're hard for me.
Words are hard.
But I'm thinking, like, realistically, in today's game, what is the fewest amount of pitches that you could throw to record 3 outs? That's pretty much how I should have worded it, looking back on it. And my realistic scenario, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, chat, but my realistic scenario was extra innings, man is on second. We have seen numerous teams intentionally walk the second batter to set up the force play. And then you could throw a first pitch triple play. So literally 1 was the answer I was thinking when I gave this question to Harrison. Now, are there other possibilities? Like, yeah, well, of course. But my realistic, situation was that one.
Yeah, we're currently sitting at 797,000 views of that video. It's insanity.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of people had a great time playing along with it. Then there are the few people that got really hung up on, why didn't you say least instead of fewest and thrown?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my goodness. But at the same time, we appreciate all those people commenting because it just keeps boosting the video.
Right. But I was just wondering how the chat kind of took it, because for me, when I wrote this, I was like, oh, this is Harrison. You understood what I was asking.
I did.
But you've also been answering my bad English trivia questions for years now. So,
yeah, we have our own language on the show. We don't always even use words. Sometimes we just make up words as we go.
Right. But yeah, it was just pretty crazy. Got out of hand, and it was pretty wild. But
it's fun, and for all of you watching, we don't take any personal offense when people rip us in the in the comments or on a video. I had the one where I said Mickey Mantle when I met Lou Gehrig, and I got torn apart on that. That one got another 400,000 or 500,000
Yeah,
views.
crazy.
People are like, "Is this Harrison guy ever watch baseball? Does he know anything about baseball?" It's like I just said the wrong name. Like it was a simple mistake. It's a live show. I can't take it back.
Yeah,
But
right.
that's the other thing. Like we don't hide it. It is what it is. I said it, and if you
Yeah.
want to call me an idiot, great, do it. And but
Yeah.
please comment and share
Yeah,
because
I don't.
that's what I want.
Right, and I don't think a lot of people. I mean, people in the chat do. The people that keep coming back, like they understand. Like we cut our reels from our live shows. Like,
Yep.
so you guys that are watching get a leg up on our trivia because you've already seen it, which is awesome. I love it. But yeah, this one was just like it just took off, and I was just like, man, this is wild. But yeah, so my realistic answer was 1 in extra innings with that scenario, but who knows? You can draw your own conclusion. It won't be wrong at this point, I guess.
No, I mean any scenarios. I mean you come up with any scenario you want.
Yeah.
We had somebody that said, with it's all pitch clock violations and a triple play.
Right.
Sure, it could be. Yeah,
Yep.
that could happen.
Yep. Yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, just because it's possible, I mean, it's probable. There's a difference between possibility and probability, but it's all good.
John, thanks.
Yeah. He said, "I like you, Harrison." He didn't say Nick. He said Harrison.
Oh. Anyways.
Yeah. Moving right along.
We're team Harrison.
We are. And we say stuff. It's live. We get twisted. We mess something up. We let it ride. Like we don't take ourselves too seriously.
No, it's pretty awesome. All right.
All right, let's have some fun.
Yeah, all right, here we go.
All right, chat. You may need to help Nick out on a couple of these. Some of these are I would say we got a mix of levels here. We got a couple that are easier, a couple that are harder. One that might be a pretty good poll. So let's see what we got. All right. Who is that guy named?
Oh, hold on. Damn. Oh, thanks,
I'm
Calvin.
more of a Nick fan.
He's got my back.
What? John's already guessing Jamie Moyer. Literally 1 week, I'm putting Jamie Moyer in just for the hell of it.
Got to. I mean, at this point,
not going to say win.
You gave away my trivia for Sunday. It was all Jamie Moyer answers.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
All right, here we go.
Just kidding. You're both great. Well, now it feels like a little bit like, I'm playing B here, but okay. All right, let's get on the trivia.
Anyways, all right. Who is this guy, Nick?
All right. Played for 16 seasons between 1992 and 2007. Played for the Braves, Padres, and Giants. One-time All-Star and 1995 World Series champion. Best known for being the first player to hit a home run in 3 consecutive World Series games. Who is that guy?
Oh, I got him. I know for sure. I'm going to give the chat a second.
We'll give chat a second.
Yeah. This one
is it's a warm-up.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yep.
Well, it's like when you told me that a slam dunk, I got him right.
Yeah, right.
Backhanded comments get you nowhere. I don't know. I still love you guys.
All right.
Who is it, Nick? Who is that guy?
This is Ryan Klesko.
Yes, it is Ryan Klesko. Average of 279, 278 home runs, 987 RBIs, 370 OBP. It's a pretty good number for a career.
Yeah.
And a 26.7 WAR. He was the kind of Robin to, whoever was Batman through the various phases of the Braves that he was with.
Yeah. Now, if I remember right, Captain got it, Klesko. If I remember right, it was like him, Jermaine Dye, and I'm blanking on Tyler Houston kind of all came up in that chunk for the Braves.
Yep.
We all know Jermaine Dye went on to the Royals and the White Sox. Tyler Houston went to the Cubs, I think, eventually. But yeah, I definitely remember Klesko raking. Yep. Oh yeah, John. Yeah.
Yeah, he could absolutely rake. The guy could hit. I mean, look at the numbers. 370 OBP for a career is pretty damn good.
Yeah. Listen, Captain, we don't count spelling. I know you're trying to say Klesko. I would still say correct. You're good.
Yeah. Spelling is optional here.
Yeah.
It's like I tell my kids, if I can figure out what it says, it counts.
Exactly.
All right. Moving on. Played for 5 seasons between 1998 and 2002. Played for the Mets, Rockies, and Red Sox. Drafted out of Hawaii in 1993, debuted in 1998. Best known for hitting a dramatic walk-off home run in the 2000 NLDS and his high leg kick. Who is that guy? I told you one of these you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I know him, but I can't give you a name.
Akbayani?
Oh my goodness, it's Benny Agbayani.
Yes, let's go.
Benny Agbayani. Average of 274, 39 home runs, 156 RBIs, and a 1.3 WAR. This guy is a cult hero in New York for about a 24-month stretch with them. And if you remember correctly, they used to play. It was Benny and the Mets.
That's right.
They took the Elton John song and made it Benny and the Mets. But he was a cult icon, cult hero for the Mets for like 2 years.
Man, yeah, I was like Akbayani. Yeah. I couldn't quite get it. Yeah, Akbayani. Wow, what a flash!
Yep.
I mean, talk about a flash in the pan. We were talking about that for sure. About like guys that come up and they're like in your face for like 5 months, and then you're like, where did they go?
Yep, he hit that massive 2000 NLDS walk off, and he was a superhero in New York, and then just faded.
Yep. Wow, great one, Harrison. Nice one. All right.
Played for 9 seasons between 1999 and 2007. Played for the Reds, Red Sox, Cubs, Padres, and Orioles. One-time All-Star and Rookie of the Year. Best known for earning a 2004 World Series ring, but didn't pitch in the series. Who is that guy?
So he won Rookie of the Year with the Reds.
Yep. And won a 2004 World Series ring.
So he's with the Sox.
He was the closer in 2003. And was the closer for part of 2004 until he got hurt.
This name's going to kill me.
It's a name for sure you'll recognize.
I know.
He came over to the Red Sox, and it was people were so pumped. This guy threw gas. He had a bit of a split sink. Got a lot of outs. And
he's got writing. He's got writing underneath the hat of his pillow, seeing if his name was on it. I can't see it. I can't make it out.
Can I zoom in and read it?
God.
Anybody in chat know who this is? The name's gonna make you mad when you see it.
I'm gonna go back to the teams again. Reds, Red Sox, Cubs, Padres, Orioles. God dang, man.
So he was with the Reds from 1999 to 2003. He got traded to the Sox at the deadline in 2003. He closed some games, but really just pitched in relief. In 2004, he was supposed to be the closer. He got hurt, got a World Series ring, and then he bounced between the Cubs, Padres, and Baltimore for the next 3 years, and then was gone.
I don't got it. I don't have a clue.
Anybody in chat? Going once, going twice? Scott Williamson.
Dumb. I don't think I would have pulled it, but I definitely know the name for sure.
Yeah, a guy you know, but not an easy one to pull. But career record of 28-28, 55 saves, 3.36 ERA, 510 Ks, and 439 in the third innings pitched, and an 8.5 WAR. A guy who was very good, and then injuries just ate up his career.
Yep.
But when he got traded to Boston, it was like, oh my goodness, they're finally going to get a bullpen arm. He came over, he immediately stunk. He missed part of the end of the season. In the 2003 ALDS, he had like 3 saves, clutch saves, came into tight games. Then 2004, he got hurt, and that was it.
Dang. Yeah, I wouldn't have pulled that one. Definitely remember him though.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Played for 12 seasons between 1998 and 2010. Played for the Mets, Rockies, Padres, Red Sox, A's, and Orioles. First round pick in 1994. 2 Tommy John surgeries, yet not a pitcher. Best known for hitting the last postseason home run that Mariano Rivera allowed in his career back in the 2000 World Series. Who is that guy?
Oh my goodness.
You know him, don't you?
Did he make a crazy catch against the wall?
Yep.
Oh my God.
It's not Xavier Nate that's where you're going. Or Andy
Oh.
Chavez. Not Andy Chavez. either.
That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, not Andy Chavez.
Number 44.
Played center field.
That's not Tarasco, is it?
Not Tarasco. Nope.
Because he was Baltimore earlier. His face is so familiar too. Jay Payton?
It is absolutely Jay Payton.
Well, let's go.
That's a hell of a
It
pull.
took me a minute.
Jay Payton, average of 279, 119 home runs, 522 RBIs, and a 15.4 WAR.
Completely forgot he played for the Red Sox.
Yep, very briefly. Very briefly. And what's interesting is that he was the first position player at the time who kind of openly went under Tommy John, and then even had a second one later in his career.
Dang.
Because he was only in Boston for 55 games.
Yeah.
And then they spun him at the mid part of the season to Oakland because he wasn't really working out. They didn't really have a spot for him. But yeah, 2 Tommy John surgeries for an outfielder was not typical.
Dang. That's a great one. All right. We got one more.
One more. All right. Played for 12 seasons between 1999 and 2012. Played for the Mets, Astros, A's, Royals, Braves, White Sox, Pirates, Dodgers, Rockies, Blue Jays, Cardinals, and Tigers. 2011 World Series champion, best known for playing for the second most teams in baseball history, and Chris Berman's nickname for him. Who is that guy?
Is this the guy that just passed away not that long ago?
It is.
No, this is Octavio Dotel.
It's Octavio Dotel. R.I.P. to a guy who was a hell of a lot of fun to watch during his career.
Yeah.
So Octavio Dotel, record of 59 and 50, 109 saves, because remember, he was also a closer for a stretch. 378 ERA, 1,143 Ks and 951 innings, 15.2 WAR. R.I.P.
Yeah. Dang.
But a guy that every single year had a new home.
Yeah.
It seemed.
Yeah, 12. That's why I was counting, because I was like Edwin Jackson.
Yeah, Edwin Jackson's the only guy ahead of him in terms of teams played for.
Because he's got what, 14, I think. Edwin
I
Jackson?
think it's 14. Yeah, Edwin Jackson's the most. Octavio Dotel is second, but it's behind him by a couple of teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put that in more as kind of in memoriam for Octavio.
Yeah. Dude, we should just have a show where you do like 15 of these, I do 15 of these, or whatever number, and just go ham for like 2 hours on
friggin' who is that guy showdown. I love these. These are so much fun to put. They're so much fun to put together, and they're so much fun to think about because, like I told you, I've got a little like a list of players going.
Yeah.
Like I'll also just go, you know what, 2002 San Diego Padres. Give me a name, and I go down the list. I'm like, okay, too obvious, way too obscure. Let's go with that one.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what I was doing with like blurred picture trivia, like way back. I think we should do that. We should just pick a day where you burn 20 of them, I come up with 20 of them, and we just come on and do them, because I think that'd be awesome.
Or better yet, we do that, and then we have a bunch of these guys from chat join us, and they do them.
Oh, I like that.
We throw in a challenge to the Johns and Kappen and have those guys come on and they do them.
Yeah. Would you guys be up for that for sure? Invite you guys onto the show to do a little who is that guy action. I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be a blast.
Yeah, I would love that. But
do kind of a special trivia edition.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I would love that.
But yeah, like so literally Benny Agbayani, I'm like 1999 New York Mets. So I just grabbed the Mets, and that's how I got Agbayani and Peyton.
Yeah.
But like I go by I'm like going down the list. I'm like, too obvious. I'm like Agbayani. He's such an obscure player, but because of his name and what he did in 2000,
yeah,
I'm like, Nick probably would get him. So let's do it.
Yep.
John Temple, I'm game. I love it.
John's in. All right. We'll have to set this up. Find a date. Definitely get you guys on. I think it'd be awesome.
We'll do like a special trivia edition. It'll be the Johns and Kappen.
Yeah, right.
Well, all the regulars, come on here. You guys can. We'll just throw a bunch of who is that guys out.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You guys can answer them as a panel.
Yeah. We are recording with the Benchwarmers Trivia podcast here in a couple weeks. I'm
right.
hosting. So I'm
That's the
hosting
16th?
the show. Yeah, whatever that Tuesday is.
But it doesn't drop for like a month afterwards, right?
Yeah, something like that. I have a face for radio.
Oh, come on,
it's
Captain.
all right.
So do I. Here
Yeah,
I am.
We can just put like a little avatar or
You,
like
you stare at my ugly mug for a couple hours a week. That's
yeah, exactly.
fine.
You're fine. Yeah, so Benchwarmers trivia podcast. If you like all sports trivia, these guys are insane. It's a fun podcast to listen to.
They're like the Jeopardy of sports stuff. Like some of the questions I listened to their show. Some of the questions I'm like, holy cow, who knows the answer to that? And somebody busts it out.
Well, they have like legit Jeopardy contestants go on it sometimes.
Oh yeah,
like they're crazy.
They had one guy who listed 15 straight number one overall picks from the 70s and 80s in the NFL. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I couldn't give you one.
No,
like
no. But yeah, so
just here so I don't get fined. Thanks, Marshawn.
Yeah. So it'll be cool because I'm hosting that one. I have a whole list of questions that I've already written.
Yeah. So Nick gets to torture me yet again.
Yeah. So you'll be fine. You're used to my trivia though. So
that is true. I'm used to your trivia. And I'll be paired up with somebody on that side who's really good. So we'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I do want to add one thing I didn't put in the slide deck because I don't know too much about the details of it still, but the fan that fell in Pittsburgh, that happened, was it Monday night or Tuesday night? I can't remember exactly which night, but fell 21 feet onto the warning track. You know, all the players were obviously in distress. They were kneeling while this was all going on. They were listed in critical condition. I haven't heard any update on that. They did release the name though today. I don't know why they would release the name.
Yeah,
or why that's
seemed
necessarily important, but
a little quick.
But yeah, I mean that's terrible. We saw the video clip of it today. Dang, I have not seen that. I don't know.
Yeah, I've watched a video clip of them falling. It's taken from like back by home plate. And I can't tell for the life of me why they fell, like what happened. You just like suddenly see this person go tumbling over the railing and fall to the ground.
Huh. And like it was in Pittsburgh, correct?
Yes. It's that right field pavilion that's elevated.
Gotcha. Is the railing just not like above waist level or something there? Like
it's like it's probably like to your, I mean, for somebody our height, it's probably like to upper thighs. You know, the picture, it's far away, so you can't tell why they fell. It almost looked like somebody went to like sit on it and then like tumbled backwards. I don't know. I'll try to pull up the article where I saw the video of it. It was awful.
Yeah. But I mean,
the players are like, the players were devastated by it.
Yeah. I mean, and this has happened, you know, throughout history. Like we've seen people fall from like the third deck and like the second deck. Like we've seen it happen before. Unfortunately, it's just dang.
Yeah. And was it in Texas that somebody fell and died off the second deck?
Or San Diego? It was something like that.
Yeah. Or St. Louis, somewhere like that. But
yeah.
Oh, 2015 it was the Braves.
It was the Braves.
Yeah. Braves season ticket holder flipped over the guardrails in the upper deck at Turner Field.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. I don't know. I don't know what they do at this point. I mean, do they jack the railings up so it's chest level now, but then you're blocking that first row of seats? Like
it's hard because you raise the rail anymore. When you sit down, you can't see.
Right.
All right, here's the link with the video. I'm going to drop it into chat.
Yeah, I don't know how you prevent
it.
And
it's Fox News. Don't give me the whole, what media outlet you watch. This is just where I found the link.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know how you prevent that from happening again. I mean, and like I said, unless you jack up the railing and make it plexiglass or something like that. So that first row can still see through it, you know?
Yeah. So, they're ruling it as an accident, but there's some theories, and I want to say that, was it John? Yeah, there's some people thought he was trying to jump down on the field. Some people thought he was trying to lean against the railing. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but if you watch the video, it's really hard to tell what's happening because it's so far away.
Yeah.
But also you see him go flipping over, and it's awful. Like, the video's not fun to watch.
Yeah. But yeah, just be careful. Don't get lit and fall. I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah, and this is a 20-year-old kid, right? Who is a football player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yikes.
Terrible. All right. Do you have anything else to add for this evening?
I do, because it wouldn't be a week if we don't talk about expansion.
Well, of course.
The Orlando Dreamers. Okay, here it is. So the Orlando Dreamers actually released the lead investor names. And one of the lead investors is Dr. Rick Workman. He's a dentist and entrepreneur he spends time in Florida, but he's actually out of Illinois. He's the anchor investor. And then there's another John Morgan, who is doesn't specify too much about him, but he's well known, I guess, in the Orlando area. So these are pretty prominent guys that are leading this investor group, that are the main guys involved. And the money's real.
Yeah.
This funding is real. It is committed. It could be put in place. They are ready to go.
All right. Orlando Dreamers 2029. Let's go.
I still think the best situation is that the Rays move there and expansion goes somewhere else.
I agree.
I do not think you want another baseball team in Florida, because Florida has proven that is a very challenging place to draw fans, because you're competing against quality of life.
Yep.
I do not think you want to go deeper in Florida.
And you're competing against Disney. I mean, Disney has a lot of nighttime stuff too, right? I mean, people aren't going to leave Disney to go to a baseball game, right?
No, John, I will spit my drink out as this popped up in chat. Vancouver keg rollers, or the Portland Needle Kings. I literally almost spit my drink out when that popped up in chat.
The Dream Rays? Just change the Rays name again? I mean,
the Dream Rays.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think you're right. I'm with you. I think I'd rather see Tampa move there.
If I'm Sternberg, I say, hey, you guys buy 60% of the team, 75% of the team, whatever. I want to stay involved, but you buy most of the team. You move it to Orlando. You run the show. I want to stay involved, but get the hell out of Tampa, and let me just wash my hands of all the headache and just be along for the ride.
Yeah,
because $1.5 billion would buy you 3/4 of that team.
No, 1,000%.
Yeah. So it's just, if I'm Sternberg, that's the deal I want to make. You guys buy the majority, move it to Orlando. I will help you, and I want to stay involved and just be along for the ride.
Yeah, that's a win-win for both sides. I would say. I mean, unless that investor group's like, no, like we want all of it. Like that could really be the
maybe they do, and maybe Sternberg lets it go anyways. But if I'm Sternberg, I'd be reaching out to them saying, "Hey, let's discuss this."
Yeah.
Because I mean, why if you're him, why do you want to continue to own a Major League Baseball team in Tampa where you don't have any relationships anymore and they don't want you?
Yeah, right.
Like, why? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Yeah.
So stop.
Right. With Tampa, canceling the stadium deals, that's telling them that, hey, like, we're not going to invest in your future with this team.
Right. And the Rays were fine with it. They're like, no, well, okay, let's not. Like, we're good with that. So let's just agree we're going to do something different.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, and that's the thing, is if there are Tampa Bay Rays fans, like diehard fans, and they move to Orlando, they'll make that drive to go to those games.
Yeah.
As Red Sox fans in Maine and New Hampshire, we always drove to Boston, 1.5, 2 hours to get there. We did it, 4, 5, 6 times a summer because that's what you did.
Yeah, and if
So-
there's, I mean, and for all 27 people that come out to the games every night, they can just drive to Orlando. Maybe they could even carpool.
Right.
Hell, if you're the,
Yeah.
if you're the Dreamers, keep your season tickets. I'll send a shuttle. I'll send one of those vans down to pick you all up
Right.
because there's so few of you that give a crap
Right.
about this team in Tampa.
Yep. Yeah, agree.
But
So-
and I think Orlando would draw so well because you'd have people that are looking for something to do at night while they're down there for a convention or on vacation or whatever. They're going to
Yeah.
stop in and buy tickets. Like, the problem is you're not going to build this massive like installed fan base because it's such an area on the move, but you're going to sell the place out every night. And that's what you really care about.
Yeah. But like I said, if they're the third team, I don't think you do.
No, I don't. If I'm Major League Baseball and I've seen what's happened in Florida, I don't want another team in Florida.
Right.
I want another team, somewhere in the mid-Atlantic or somewhere out on the West Coast where I'm not competing against beaches, boating, and whatever else.
Right.
I want people to come to the game.
Yeah.
And care about the team.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and Dreamers just kind of fits that whole like Orlando theme, right? The Orlando Magic, you got Disney down there. Like it just kind of fits that whole theme, if you will. So
yes, and that's all about Orlando. It's creativity and that sort of approach to dreams. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Another item for you. So Brandon Woodruff had a 74 pitch outing yesterday, so continues to progress towards making a return.
Nice.
Which
good for the Brewers.
Yeah, I mean the Brewers need somebody. They need somebody bad. And not sure if you saw it today, but your buddy there, Paul Skeens, gave up 3 bombs to the Cubs and got lit up. The Cubs can hit anybody. Doesn't matter who you are.
That Cubs team is legit, man.
They are good.
They are legit.
They lit Skeens up. I mean, Skeens is 3-3 with a 2.74 ERA. Good numbers, but I don't think anybody expected him to replicate what he did last year when nobody had seen him before. So I mean, I think you're seeing what you expected to see. He's not going to be as good in year 2 as he was in year 1. But he was so good against the Dodgers last outing, and then the Cubs are tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the Cubs are also an interdivision rival.
Mhm.
Well, I wouldn't say rival, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
The Dodgers don't get a chance to see the Pirates much. So like you would expect the Cubs to have a little bit more tape on Skeens than, I mean, I guess every team would have the same amount of tape as anybody else would with all the videoing out there. But the Cubs have seen him in person more. So I guess it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. So Swanson got him. Tucker got him, and Suzuki got him. Suzuki had another one later in the game off Nicholas out of the pen. So the Cubs hit 4 home runs in the game, 1 for Swanson, 1 for Tucker, 2 for Suzuki. Swanson, Tucker, and Suzuki all homered off of Skeens, and they were not cheapies.
I mean, Suzuki's had a pretty good year so far, right? 7 home runs, 287, 25 RBIs.
Well, and that was Kyle Tucker's 8th, Dansby Swanson's 6th.
Yeah.
Suzuki's now got 9. I mean, yeah, that team is absolutely lighting him up. And, I was one of the ones in the offseason, like, I don't know. I'm not convinced Seiya Suzuki is a heart of the order guy because he hasn't really given you enough to feel comfortable. Here it is.
Yeah. Carson Kelly has 7 home runs.
In like what, 9 games?
Yeah. Miguel Amaya has 2. So out of the catcher spot, you got 9 home runs. I mean,
it's not bad.
That will get the job done. I mean, how many does Pete Crow Armstrong have? He's got 2 or 3.
No, he's got 6 now. He's got 4 against the Dodgers.
Oh, that's right. He went on that absolute tear.
Yeah, he owns the Dodgers.
So I mean,
interdivision foe. There you go, John. Gotcha. Interdivision foe.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
makes
sense. Yeah, that Cubs team's gonna be there. They're freaking good, man.
They are good.
I mean, and
they're who we thought they were.
And they're beating good teams. Not saying the Pirates necessarily, but they beat the Dodgers. They handled the Diamondbacks. Like they're beating decent teams, like top tier teams. So
Yeah. Yeah. And so can I bring up one more?
yeah, it's our show. You do what you want.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So have you looked at Javier Baez's stat line?
I have not recently, but didn't he just hit a home run the other day?
He did. He's now hitting 296
What?
with 1 home run, 11 RBIs, a 337 OBP. He's got a stolen base. He's a 1 WAR player through the end of April.
The batting average shocks me that he's close to 300.
I mean, he's a 250 career hitter, yes. Earlier in his career, he was 273, 290, 281, and then it dropped drastically. But he is very much making a case for not being terrible anymore. And he's now playing center field, so he's not even a defensive liability at shortstop anymore.
Right, which is huge for them.
He is surprising and actually helping that Tigers team.
I mean, they had to do something. They had to get him out of that shortstop spot. He was costing them way too many games. Yeah.
And he couldn't freaking hit. I think a lot of it was he was bringing the defensive issues, into the batter's box with him. But yeah, he is actually quietly having a pretty decent season for the Tigers when most of us, myself included, basically said, just get rid of the guy. Like, just pay him to go away.
Well,
He's a liability.
I think it helps too that the Tigers are actually competing, right? He's looking at the team. He's seeing the approach of these young kids and being like, hey, maybe I need to tighten it up a little bit here too. Maybe I can't be the loose cannon because I don't need to cost this team a chance.
Right. Yeah, there's certainly that too.
You can only hope that's his thinking anyways.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that was like really talented. He was always, a lot of flash and sometimes some questions around his work ethic and desire and all that. But he always had the talent. Like he would make these insane plays and come up with these huge hits. And then that just went away.
Yeah.
And I think it's now coming back. I think there's something either change or maybe getting away for the off season and, rebooting was what he needed, or maybe this young team is kind of wearing off on him and he's just kind of relaxed again. I don't know, but he is not the same guy that he was, which is good, I think, for for the Tigers, because he's become an important piece of that lineup again. And you're paying the guy a boatload of money.
I was just gonna say,
you're hoping he performs.
You gotta find some way to keep that money on the field, right?
Yeah, you need to get something for it,
right?
Got to get something for it. You cannot continue to get nothing for 6 years and 140 million. That doesn't work.
No, not one bit.
And then did you see Noah Cameron's major league debut with the Royals yesterday?
I saw the stat line. He had like no hitter into the 7th.
Yeah, took a no hitter into the 7th, finished 6 in the 3rd, 1 hit, 5 walks, 3 Ks. Good stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
And the Royals won again today. They've ripped off, what is it now? It's 3 in a row and 9 of their last 10 after falling really far down.
Yep.
Bobby Witt's a big piece of it, but there's now getting contributions from other guys in the lineup, and the pitching's really turned up.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime you can win 9 out of 10 and 3 in a row, you're going to move up the standings.
What's the latest on Ragans, though? Ragans.
I did not see an update. I looked for one the other day, and I did not see much. It was pretty vague. Yeah, it's uncertainty. They're still diagnosing. They don't know.
Okay. Dang. But Seth Lugo had a great start today, right?
Seth Lugo is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's at this point, as of yesterday, they're just saying Ragans is gonna miss his next start. They're giving him some rest. They're going to continue to evaluate him. It's a groin, which is one of those things where it's like, a pitcher has a lot of stretch in that groin area as they release.
Right.
So I think they're just playing it safe, but it doesn't sound like it's a big deal, but He's going to miss a start or two.
Yeah.
Let's hope that's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind going out for my major league debut and go 6 1/3 or 6 2/3 a hitless ball.
I'd retire. Go out on top.
Yep, I'm good.
Because there's no way in hell I'm doing it again.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Pretty awesome. All right. Anything else from you? Anything else from the chat? That was all. We had a lot of stuff in there tonight.
Yeah, a lot. There's a lot going on. This is a good week, busy week. All kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah. So, nothing else?
I mean, you mentioned it before. The Baltimore Orioles were lost. They're a mess.
I don't even know what to think about them right now. I really don't.
They're a minus 49. They've given up 169 runs.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say I called it, but I called it. They can't pitch the baseball.
No. No, and Grayson Rodriguez can't get back soon enough, but even then, it may not matter. They can't. We knew the pitching was weak, and it was a hole for them, but this is bad.
Yeah,
they can't get anybody out.
Not great, and they're in last. Yeah, 12 and 18.
Yeah, they're now a game and a half behind the Rays. The Rays are a +3.
Yeah,
they've just had a rough stretch.
Yep.
And the Orioles expected win-loss is 10 and 20. They're 12 and 18. They've actually outplayed their stats.
Yikes.
Their averages. So it's not good in Baltimore. They believe that they're going to turn the corner here when the schedule is a little more home heavy, but they've been pretty balanced to start the year. Guys come back from injury, guys settle in. I don't know. I think this team is too good to be 12 and 18, but their pitching has been an absolute disaster.
Yeah. The Mets, the Cubs, and the Yankees are all +52 differential. Whew. That's wild.
I'm a big Rushman fan with the Oregon connection. Yeah. And I honestly, the last few nights the Orioles have been on, and I've passed on watching them. I've watched the A's instead the other day. I mean, I have intentionally skipped Orioles games because as much as I like that young core, I can't watch them play because they can't pitch. No. That offense is trying to hit a 7-run home run on every swing because they know they need it. It's just frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not glad because the Orioles were close, right? They went out in the first round the last 2 years. I love that they finally turned that place around, that organization around. But when you didn't replace Corbin Burns, I said that's the Achilles heel right now. They're not going to be able to prevent runs at all.
Nope.
You're banking on Zach Eflin being your stopper. Grayson Rodriguez has always been a question mark for them. Kyle Bradish coming off his arm injury. Felix Bautista coming off his, but you can't even get the ball to Felix Bautista because you're getting pounded.
No, Bautista's been great, but he's been in the game so seldom. Speaking of the Orioles, did you see that weird little scuffle against the Yankees?
No, I missed it.
When Jazz landed on top of Hunter Kjerstad on the double play?
No, I missed that.
Okay, so there's a play at second, and Kjerstad sliding in, and Jazz goes up to try to catch it, and the ball gets by him. And he literally lands and puts his butt on Kjerstad's neck and head. Jumps up, and Kjerstad's sliding underneath him, and he just kind of lands on him, like Yokozuna dropping his little sumo drop.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like anything much at the moment. But then a bunch of players came out, there's some talking, and Kjerstad had said something to Chisholm, it's all good, whatever. And then they kind of quickly dissipated, but there was this little kind of barking going on. But again, it's the Yankees players all running in, we've seen in the past with Cole and Chisholm especially. But it was weird. It wasn't necessary, but it got more of a kerfuffle. There we go.
Yeah, for sure.
More of a kerfuffle.
Yeah.
But it was. I mean, it's kind of a funny play. I'll try to find a link to it. But he just lands on him. No intent.
we're due for a just full on all out brawl here at some point. It's been a few years since we've had a nice big brawl.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking like fist flying. What was the last one really? Was it the Brewers one? Up the first baseline? I can't even remember who it was. Was it Uribe? I think like it was like a relief pitcher that just went over and just started throwing haymakers.
That sounds about right. Yeah, actually, funny thing is, the New York Post called it a kerfuffle. Great choice.
A J-Ram versus Tim Anderson. That was a good one-on-one. Definitely a good one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think back to like J-Ram, Tim Anderson, think about like Rougned Odor and Batista when he snuffed him right in the face.
Yeah. It was the Brewers and Rays last year on May 1st. It was Abner Uribe.
Oh.
He was suspended six games for instigating the bench clearing brawl in the 8th inning.
Gotcha.
And he just started. He didn't land any of them, but he was just throwing them. But yeah, that one was
okay. It was a stolen base, not a double play ball. I was trying to figure out where Chisholm was looking. He was looking home.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching that game. I was watching something else, and I just saw the little notification pop up.
Yeah, it's playoff time for hockey, so no fights. So why not MLB?
True.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah,
Spidey, we are Red Sox fans, but we're baseball fans first, Red Sox fans, kind of by birth.
Yeah, but I mean, I enjoy watching the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Oakland Athletics. Right now, I think the A's are, for me, I'm locked into the A's right now. I don't ask me why. There's something about them that I love, but I'm locked into them right now. But yeah, the Diamondbacks, Red Sox, and A's right now are the three teams I'm kind of watching.
I just love a good underdog story. That's why I'm drawn to teams like the Reds, like the A's, the young up and coming teams who are trying to take down the big boys.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan versus Ventura. Yes, baseball fight. Yep.
That one, I mean, the Armando Benitez one into the Yankees dugout. That one was
when he drilled Tino between the shoulder blades.
Yeah, that one was pretty wild.
Yeah, that fight was gnarly.
Yeah.
Albert Bell and Fernando Vina. It wasn't a fight because it was over instantly. Vina gets up, he's like, what just happened?
Dude, Vina ended up in the left field seats after Albert Bell hit him, dude.
You ever play that game, NHL Hits, you like check a guy completely off the screen, like in the bleachers? That was Vina.
My God, man. Bell leveled him. That wasn't even fair.
Bell didn't think anything of it. He picked up his helmet and starts walking back to the dugout like it was no big deal. Just another day on the base pass.
Well, it's just like those old clips of like runners taking out shortstops and second baseman at breaking up double plays. Those were brutal.
Pedro versus Zimmerman.
Zimmerman versus the ground right there.
Yeah, Zimmerman versus gravity.
Oh, man.
It's not even summer yet in Sacktown. The ball's already flying out of the AAA stadium. I mean, that A's team has some serious power, but boy, oh boy, does that ballpark help.
And the ball's not even traveling yet. That's the crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, was that by Papelbon?
Bryce Harper
in his butt, yeah.
I mean, or is it just this season because Bryce Harper's gotten off to a very good start?
Yeah. Either way, yeah. There's been some good ones. We're due for one here soon.
How about your boy Jason Varitek and A-Rod?
Classic.
That's a classic.
You know, that's the one picture that Jason Varitek will not autograph.
Really?
Really.
Huh.
He hates that.
Varitek Rodriguez was epic. You are absolutely right.
Yeah. So he's actually, I think Jim actually told us that when he was on the show.
Oh, you might be right.
Way back, because he said that
he's not really proud of the moment.
Right. But
he knew the team needed the boost, but he wasn't proud of what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, A-Rod's a guy who was immediately hated by Red Sox fans because the way that everything went down.
Right. Which wasn't A-Rod's fault, by the way.
No. But A-Rod was also an arrogant guy, and that just he'd rub people the wrong way. And
Yeah.
the Red Sox needed the boost, and who better to pump the fans up with than to punch A-Rod in the face?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I support it.
Oh,
100%.
for sure. Absolutely. But
we all wanted to do this to A-Rod. I mean, you're not wrong. You're
No.
not wrong.
yeah.
And it's not just Red Sox fans, baseball fans in general. He might be one of the more polarizing guys in baseball history where people just really either loved him or really hated him.
Yep. He's very punchable face. Agree. He should have
Yes.
never left Seattle. Yeah.
I mean, he went to Texas to juice up and get paid and had some massive seasons there, but that was a disaster.
Yeah.
Tom Hicks wanted to buy himself a contender and couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did, but David Freese had other ideas.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. They did that. That might be one of the greatest championship steals of all time,
Yeah.
other than Houston with the trash cans.
Well, right. Anyways.
Anyway, moving right along.
Yep. All right. Well, anything else? We good?
Anything else in chat?
Yeah. I mean, that was a lot of stuff to cover tonight.
It was.
That was crazy. Went from slow to holy cow, I can't keep up with it in a second.
It was nuts. Do you know who the Yankees traded the Rangers for? Him being A-Rod, I'm assuming.
Yeah, wasn't it? Didn't Soriano go over there?
Yes, I'm pretty sure Soriano's in that deal, wasn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. It was Soriano and player to be named later. So I don't. So MLB vetoed the trade with the Red Sox because he was looking to restructure his contract, right? That was why they vetoed it, right? Or was it to take lesser money over? Like, what was the reason it got shot down? It was something to do with the restructuring of his contract, right?
Yes, and I believe it was they were going to stretch it out.
So like defer it, kind of. Right?
Oh, okay. So here's what it was. The deal was he was going to take less salary, but he was going to receive his likeness rights and more flexibility in his contract terms. So they're going to let him he was going to take advantage of his name to be able to take the earnings from anything that was sold with his name on it, take a lesser salary, and get to renegotiate terms. The MLBPA said, "No way are you going to take a pay cut and use this as a chance to get your likeness rights, which we want, which really should be held by the teams." And the union said, "Absolutely not."
Gotcha. Because I saw that the Yankees also restructured his contract over 7 years, but
they did. So same money, they just stretched it out. The Red Sox wanted to actually reduce the salary, but give him some upside in other ways.
Gotcha.
And they said no.
And then they tried to do the same thing with Mark Teixeira, and couldn't do that.
No, they could not do that. That got shot down. But keep in mind, the Red Sox were going to send Manny Ramirez, John Lester, and cash to the Rangers for A-Rod, which is a way better deal than them getting Soriano and the player who ended up being Joaquin Arias, who the hell's that? Nobody knows because he didn't turn in anything.
Right.
And the Rangers also agreed to pay a big chunk of the salary. So to the Rangers, it was just a salary dump.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what we call a payroll dump. That's exactly what it was. The Rangers wanted the Red Sox deal because you would have gotten Manny, Lester, and cash. When that got vetoed, they said, "Well, we got to get rid of this guy. He's got to go."
Right.
And so they just dumped him.
Crazy. Just gonna dump Alex.
Dumped him for half the trade package.
Yeah. I'm surprised the Red Sox didn't try to go back. I mean, maybe they did try to go back and be like, all right, like, let's go back to the table. But I mean, if they did, then 2004 doesn't happen. But
yeah, I don't think the Red Sox win was with A-Rod because I don't think he solved their problems.
No.
And not having Manny and Lester for the playoff run, forget it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, no shot.
No, agree.
I think the Red Sox would have been a worse team after that trade.
Easily. All right. Well, another great show, everyone. Nice job in the chat. Thanks for sticking with us. We will be back on Sunday, 8:00 p.m. for Rounding Third Boston, and then we'll be on around 9 p.m. for Rounding Third Baseball. As always, you guys are incredible in the chat. We appreciate you coming back. Harrison and I will do some talking. We'll try to get that trivia game together. If you guys would love to come on, we'll record it, go live, whatever you guys want to do, whatever you're comfortable with. I think that would be awesome. And again, like that's why we're doing this. Like we love the fact that you guys are so interactive with us. And if you feel comfortable coming on, we'd love to have you guys come on, talk some baseball with us live, and maybe throw some trivia around. So we'll figure out a date and time. We'll throw it out to you, see if it works, and we'll go from there. But until then, enjoy the weekend of baseball. We'll see y'all Sunday night at some point. So
thank you, Nick. ... And Harris.
You're welcome, Captain.
Well done, Captain. We're going to close out the